What's going on, everybody? This is Travis Witherspoon from Carter Cow Capital, helping you fight for your financial freedom throughout the Forex market. Today is Monday, and today is at 6:30. So y'all know what that means. This is another Trade with Travis morning session. Hopefully, everybody's doing very well on this Monday morning. Hopefully, you end up having a very good trading week last week, and obviously, going into the third week of the month. Hopefully, we can be able to capitalize on that, allow us to be able to keep on making profit, trying to be able to manage through this September movement. Now, uh, biggest thing when it comes down to this, especially third week, we always talk about during the first week, going to end up having high impact news that's going to end up affecting the market and how everything's going to be played out. Week two is definitely one of those traders weeks to where you can find good trades based off of the chart. The chart ends up basically remaining to be the same. Then you can trade based off of what the chart is telling you. The third week is kind of tricky because typically when you end up taking a look at the third week, you probably going to end up seeing an interest rate decision that's going to end up coming out at the middle of the week, which means that today is going to end up being a very important day for trading. Tuesday is probably going to end up being a slow day, and then Wednesday, basically at the middle of the day, we're probably going to end up seeing some true movement that will end up happening based off of what's going to happen over the last couple weeks. So we got a little bit of stuff that's ahead of us, but like always, we'll be able to manage it. For the people that's watching live, one, I want to say thank you. If you're a first-time watcher, this is Trade with Travis, what we end up doing each and every morning at 6:30 a.m. We end up talking for about 30 to 45 minutes about potential trade opportunities that may end up being out there. I end up doing it again later on at night. We end up doing it at 2100 hours or 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Being able to go over the trades that end up happening and looking for potential trades more. So you would like to be a part of the community or anything else like that, one, do me a favor, click on that boost button so we can be able to reach, because obviously that boost button have helped me reach out to you and hopefully end up reaching out to other people. And then two, if you have any trade ideas or anything else like that, bring it to the community, meaning that make sure that you end up placing in at Carter Cow Capital, talk about the trade that you're interested in being able to talk about. And also, if you have a chart, place up the chart so we can be able to see what's going on, so we can be able to get an idea about how we can be able to possibly be able to make money together off of that move. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm not a CTA, so I'm not going to tell you whether to buy or to sell. What I'm going to do is teach you education, and from that education, you can be able to make your own informed decision. Now, understand that trading involves risk. It involves risk of being able to make money, also involves risk of being able to lose money. So please keep that in mind and understand that past performance is not indicative of future results, which means that if you end up making money yesterday, it's not promised that you can end up making money today. So with that being said, going into this week, let's talk about the economic calendar. Let's see how the market's going to end up playing out today. What we're going to end up having is the traders today. Only thing that we're going to end up seeing a little bit later on today is going to end up being the seeing Australia have the RBA meeting minutes. Other than that, unless there's something that comes out from CNBC or anything else like that that may end up making the market move, I doubt that we're going to end up having something big that may end up happening for the overall movement. Tomorrow, what we're going to end up seeing is consumer price index from the Bank of Canada, but it's going to end up being a trader say as well. And then after that, going into Wednesday and Thursday, that's when we end up having the true high impact news of a third week, where we're going to end up seeing FOMC meeting minutes, which means Jerome Powell. Keep in mind, once again, once Jerome Powell ends up speaking, the market ends up moving. Whatever he ends up saying, it's going to end up rocking the market in some type of way. We always have to keep that in mind as we go through our trading, which means that on Wednesday, we're going to early scalp, see what we can be able to get out of the move. Then after that, be prepared for what's going to happen at 2 o'clock. And then after that, make your move based off of that movement after that. Last month, that started that 1,500 point move to the downside. And obviously end up making us, that was the thing that allowed us to be able to have a winning month based off of that movement. A little bit later on, you end up having the Bank of Japan have their interest rate decision Thursday. We're going to end up having the Bank of England have their interest rate decision and their rate hike cut and vote rate hike. That's going to end up happening. Then after that, on Friday, we're going to end up having retail sales from the Canadian dollar. So there we go. Let's go ahead and go through the big three. Let's see what's happening for the market and those overall movements. If you're not familiar with the big three, that is the United States dollar index, that is gold, that is oil. The reason why we look at those three is because it gives us a better chance and a better identifier of being able to know what the direction is going to end up being for the United States dollar index, for gold, and for the Canadian dollar, respectively. Now, Taking a look at this. A couple weeks ago, we ended up saying that the United States dollar index was kind of due for it to be able to have a little bit of retracement, but we also ended up talking about that it was inside of this channel and it has not hit the peak of the channel. And I think the peak of the channel is probably going to end up being off what a D extension is going to end up being at 13,512. There's a good chance that the market could continue to keep on moving in that area to be able to ultimately end up hitting that spot. So the weekly is definitely bullish. You take a look at what's happening with the daily. We can see that the daily is in a potential position to where either consolidation can start, or once this high is broken above 13,282, then we end up having that true push to the upside that we can be able to trade off of. So if the market ends up breaking above this overall high right here, then it's definitely bullish. And quite frankly, obviously there's no more. I don't believe there's going to end up being a lot more sellers that will be in our way for it being able to if we're trading up to the upside. But hypothetically, if this market ends up retracing, it is shown that what number is this low? It's shown that 1390 can be a natural support. So we have a support because it's done hit three separate times throughout, or four consecutive times in the span of August. We end up seeing that we have a resistance that has not been broken yet at 13,289. If that does get broken to the upside, then obviously the market would keep on pushing and we'll probably see it go. If it doesn't, then we'll probably end up seeing some type of consolidation that may end up happening. And who knows how long that consolidation may end up being. So at this particular point, I'm not going to make a move off the United States dollar index, at least not yet, because that's what I potentially end up seeing. Once market ends up breaking above that, we still have a lot of room to be able to trade it to the upside. Plus, the weekly has already hit a D extension, so I've been kind of hesitant. No, voice is a little bit raspy this morning, but I've been kind of hesitant in being able to take a trade off of this move, at least at that potential spot for right now. So right now, I'm gonna hold off. We'll see how everything kind of plays off. U.S. oil. We talked about this bearish crown that could potentially happen and how oil could fall down to 77.11 for this overall movement. Let's talk about how we end up getting to that point. One, we can see that on the weekly that the market is going through a long-term move and a long-term retracement where the market has fell down to the 618. So it's below the 618, meaning that if buyers are potentially getting in, this could be a great spot for them to be able to get in and look at oil potentially go to $171 a barrel. I don't think that's going to end up happening. Me personally, Travis, don't think that's going to end up happening. What I think is probably going to end up happening is this. The market ended up retracing. To the to the 86% when it ended up making its first move, and then after that started to push down. The 86 has been hit, but the daily, if you take a look at that at natural position, as it's going through its second phase of being able to move to the downside after breaking an A, in which that happened right here. Once that A was broken, we take a look at this downfield and how the market is basically retracing. Essentially, when it retraced, it only retraced to the 236. By retracing to the 236, and that means that there's a better chance of the market basically retracing to 77.11 or the 127 based off of 80-20 rule. Once the market ends up bouncing and hitting off of that overall position, there could be a potential chance of this market finally being able to get the steam to be able to start pushing up for the winter months. Because typically, if you take a look at what's happening in October, November, all the way until January, typically oil starts to be able to rise in price when it comes down to those values because of supply and demand and because of obviously it's a need to be able to heat your house up. So there is a chance that we can be able to make two moves off of this one. One, we can see that that the market is in the sell zone. We can see that there is a counter trend line break. We can see that the market is making a new low. We can see that there's actually another chance that the market continue to push down to 77.11. And also, if we take a look at the 2 hour, there has been a counter trend line break that has been made. There's a lot of stuff that's saying there's a lot of good things that are actually being shown based off of its overall movement. Now, the question is, do we get into the pair right now? And that's going to end up being the thing that obviously is everybody's decision when it comes down to this. Obviously, if we look at being able to do this, our stop loss will be above this overall swing high will be 34 points. We'll try to get out at 86.95, trying to go after 77.11. So the risk reward factor will be there. The question is, from a timing perspective, are we going to end up getting a better time to be able to get into this move? My answer to that is I don't know, and that's the reason why I'm kind of looking at it based off of. I probably need to look at it based off of 15 minute. Um, Market's already pushed up, already done retrace, has not broken below these lows yet. Let me see if I can pull this up on. See if I can pull this up on TradingView. Let's see. U.S. oil on TradingView is West Texas Intermediate, so WTI. Let's see. Never done it on Blackpool, but let's see what they got. Everybody, I'll make this very quick. Go to the hour real quick. All right, so simply put, this is what has happened. We end up having a high volume node right here that end up breaking to the downside. There goes our support, there goes our resistance. Market, when it ended up breaking, it went into free fall a little bit. When the market went into free fall, it seems like it's falling basically at the last spot to where it could truly be able to hold, at least for right now. When that happened, we end up getting a continuation move, or you can call it consolidation, whichever one that you want to be able to say. I'm going to say it's more of a continuation move because the market basically made a counter trend line break based off of this flag, touched the upside. Turned the past resistance the past support into a future resistance, and then broke down to the downside. Now, with that being said, we are strongly into this move right now, and we're below literally, I think, the last spot where we're having true consolidation. So this market is ready to move. I don't think there'd be a better position for us to be able to get in unless there's some type of news that's going to end up pushing the market up. Let me go to the daily and let's see if there's any potential spots where this market could be able to land. Oh wow. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go after support resistance. I'm gonna take a look at it based off of support resistance, because from a volume perspective, I don't see anything. So that was the last support that I would take a look at. We can see that right here and right here, and potentially right there that the market has had a little landing spot. That is at 75.96. So I'm going to say $76. Okay. Once again, that makes 77.11 look a heck of a lot better. Um, with us having a little bit of room to be able to see this thing actually fall and be able to go to that potential spot. Um, fall and be able to go to that potential spot. Let's see. So simply put, the question would be, I would love to be able to get value off of this. Um, know that we want to be able to trade it at 77.11, but I would like to be able to see this thing pop up to the upside first. I would like to see another retracement, kind of like what we end up getting right here, where the market basically did this movement, then after that broke down. So there was no retest when this market actually ended up making that move. I would like to see, obviously the market made a breakout. I would like to see a little bit of a retest, possibly back up here to 83 or 84. 32, possibly hit the VWAP, and then after that start to be able to retrace to the downside. Again, um, obviously we can get into this market right now currently. We could possibly get into this market right now. I think that if we end up doing so, we probably might end up seeing that. Uh, Probably might end up seeing that the market may pop up against us a little bit, and then after that, start to push back down. You're not If you're okay with that, then take the trade right now. Um, if you're not okay with that, and you're trying to be a little bit greedy, kind of like where I am at this particular point, I would like to be a little bit greedy, obviously because it's a little bit earlier during the morning. I possibly could see something happen at 8 o'clock anyway. Um, I would like to see this thing actually kind of pop up to the top. But once again, beggars may not be choosers on this one. We may have to sit up there and actually make the move off of this one, and be able to get in uh, based off of what I'm seeing. But this is what I hope. I hope that I can see that that we can see that this market may start to be able to retrace a little bit. We look at the stochastic. The stochastic is telling us that that may not happen. It looks like it's getting into the sell zone. But once that happens and it retraces back up here, I would like to be able to see that we can be able to catch it when the market actually ends up making a little bit of a drop. I'm going to be patient and I'm not going to take this trade, but I am going to plan it off right now, uh, and say that if this happens, this is my plan of action. Once again, I would like for the market to be able to pop up a little bit more before jumping into this one. But I'm going to say if we do take this price, because it's at 82.97. So once again, we may not necessarily be able to get what we truly want. Um, what's that blue line? I said 77.11. 77.11 is right there. Stop loss. Let's see. Stop loss. If I had to place any stop loss right now, it will probably be up there. It'll probably end up being above 85.85. 85.85 would be my stop loss right now. Um, it gives us a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio, gives the market a little bit of room to be able to make its movement and us to be able to kind of know that this market could go against us, and then after that, kind of make its move from there, and hopefully not just pop up to the upside. I'm actually going to take this trade right now. I don't think there's no sense of being able to hold off on this move, knowing that if the market does retrace, it gives us an opportunity to be able to get in. We got some space off of this one. Um, so everyone, give me a second. I'm gonna. I haven't pulled up an oil chart in a while. Let's see. Energy, crude oil. Chart window. I need to hurry up while this market is actually kind of making a decision on what the heck it's going to do. The hours in the buy zone. That once again, that makes me say, hey, I need to wait a little bit. Um, but obviously, we're seeing that from a volume profile perspective, we're underneath pretty much every volume area of natural support. Um, so that makes it kind of hard to sit up there and say, hey, I'm just going to end up not taking a entry if this is what it's giving me. Um, like I said before, I probably will look at being able to enter in again. So I'm only going to go with probably a 0.5% off of this one, uh, and then look at getting in a little bit later on. Let's see. Okay, so I am, let's see, 83. I got 83.41. That's the number that they're looking at. Instead of short oil. Yes, I'm looking at being able to short on oil. My simple thing that I'm trying to wait on is I'm trying to hope that this thing can kind of pop up a little bit more for being able to jump in. Here's my plan: stop loss. If I take an entry right now, it end up being right around 83.04. Stop loss end up being above 85.85. Take profit will end up being at 77.11. There's a natural pivot that's at 76. I would like to get out before that natural pivot actually happens. Um, Now, if this market does decide to be able to pop up, I believe that it could go back up to 84, 84.35. And then after that, kind of be a retracement. But currently, right now, I'm actually gonna wait. I'm gonna set an alert right here. But that is the plan. Stop loss and everything else is still the same. The question is, where do we get in at when it comes down to risk versus reward? If that makes sense to you. So I'm gonna have a alert for us. Selling to the downside. WTI uh, counter trend line break. Sell. I'm gonna put two lines on this one. First line is gonna end up being the counter trend line break. Second line is gonna end up being where I think it could possibly go, which would be about right there. That is the area of that low volume node, or the that will be the past support turned into future resistance of the low volume node. I mean, of the I'm gonna say medium volume node, 'cause that's not a big node. Look, all right, so I got that one. I got that one situated. I'm not gonna pull that trigger yet, but I am gonna be ready for it. Yeah, I'm not gonna pull it yet, but I am interested in being able to take it. All right, there we go. We're gonna come back to that one. Let's go ahead and go US 30. US 30, we've been killing this one on the market. Obviously, we've been killing this since the summertime, but um, take a look at what's happening on this one from a daily perspective. Then after that, we'll kind of jump down and see what's actually happening. Um, so outer trend line's been broken toward the downside. We still have a potential chance of being able to see that this market could fall all the way down to 27,540 without necessarily having that much of hesitation based off of this movement. If we take a look at where we are from this last potential high volume node that's actually shown 30,700 all the way down to this overall area. So my plan is to be able to go after, my personal plan is to be able to go out there as much as I can of this spot and be able to take as many sales that I possibly can to be able to ride it down to this spot. Now, obviously, we want to be safe as possible because remember, when the market is falling, more people are interested in buying than they are selling, like always. But that is the potential area where I think that the market could potentially go with free fall, especially if it breaks below 30,700 and stays below 30,700. Okay, so just keep that in mind. As a matter of fact, let me go back and put a line on that one. Okay. Major areas for me are in gold. Okay, so there we go. That is the area where I believe that this selling will probably end up stopping. Um, just take that for whatever you want. All right, now from an hour perspective, we said 30,700 was basically the area where the market had to be able to hold before actually falling. We ended up having that 1,500 point drop. We end up having that consolidation. We end up having another drop based off of that consolidation. So we're looking to build another consolidation point before this market truly is ready to be able to make a move. So today, as I'm looking at it, if this market remains to jump back inside of this consolidation area, um, this will be the point, and probably today will be the day where we probably might see a lot of erratic movement. But from that erratic movement, we probably might end up seeing the market start to push back up. And if it rejects off of 30,940, then we truly have a area of consolidation that we can be able to build off of. Also, we can be able to start setting our trades. I need the market to be able to push up today and start being able to build and start being able to build out this consolidation before being able to make a move. Remember, based off of this overall strategy, we know that the market is going to end up getting into a high volume node, and then after that, we want to be able to exploit the market when it breaks out of that overall area to truly just kind of dumb it down and shorten it up. But as this market is basically moving as this market is basically moving this morning, I'm not going to look at or be in a rush to be able to take a buy. Um, but I would like to be able to see the market start to push up, go up to 30,940, reject off of this overall area. If it starts to reject, then after that, I will have an order ready for it right below it once that ends up happening. All I need for the market to be able to do is go to the midpoint. Once it goes to the midpoint, then I feel very confident that we can be able to take a sale right below this overall area. And then after that, be able to trade it to the downside to where I think that it possibly could be able to go. So I'm not trying to get all of the position, not trying to get all of the movement all at once. Would be nice if I could be able to hold that trade that long, but I know me personally, my mental, jeez, it's early in the morning. My mental won't let me sit up there and hold this trade that long. Um, so essentially, what we want to be able to do is find potential landing spots and be able to take profit based off of those locations. So this is what we got. Next potential area where I will look at being able to get out. We're breaking out of this large scale consolidation. If this market breaks below 30,420, 30,420 would end up being my take profit point for this portion of the move. Once it breaks 30,420, then after that, I will look at being able to sell it. That is really the last true line of defense before the market ends up going back to 29,800. So the big move, the big fish to be able to go after will end up being that trade at 30,420 all the way down to 29,820. Um, that is the big move. I think that will probably end up happening hopefully at the end, possibly by the end of September, or who knows, maybe even Wednesday, depending on how the market actually has been moving. So just keep that in mind. That is the big move that I'm trying to be able to get into. So we're trying to prepare for everything else, but I like this position from here to here. I like that position from there to there a lot. Not going to take a trade on it yet because we got to figure out what's going to end up being a stop loss. But that is the trade that I potentially like very much a lot. And I might take 3 trades, be 2 trades to the natural position. I keep 1 trade and I try to see if I can hold that trade down to where I think it's going to end up going. But for right now, there's no trade to be able to do yet off of this overall movement. All right. Once again, no trade to be able to do yet off of this movement. Need to see that this market confirms and starts to bounce back inside of this consolidation. Once that happens, then after that, you can be able to make a move. Secondly, one other thing that you can be able to do is this, because typically what we end up talking about, we look at being able to buy out of the breakout and be able to sell out of the breakout based off of the overall direction. You may want to look at possibly being able to hedge if this market if the market goes up to this position, saying that I will look at being able to sell right here, and then after that, obviously we have a little breakout area. We could be able to buy a little bit up here and be able to take it all the way up to this point. If it goes, we can have a stop loss that is just above this overall high, which means that we have a very low risk to a high reward if this market does break out to the downside. Okay, type in a wire, yes, if that makes sense. That's an advanced strategy that we do with this system, but it's something to be able to pay attention to, because if that potentially happens, now we definitely have a lot more space to be able to go after. Okay, but for right now, I'm not going to do anything yet until this market actually ends up setting up. Once again, I would like for it to be able to pop up to the upside. I'm not going to chase it to the upside, but I would like for it to be able to pop up to the upside. um, so I'm not trading. I'm not trading it as an option. I'm just trading it as I'm trading it as an index. I trade off of Osprey FX, which allows you to be able to trade it that way. Um, so I don't have to. I don't have to treat it like a. I don't have to treat it like a share, if that makes sense. But I am looking at being able to sell it. I've had a lot of success being able to sell it. Here we go, German 40. Um, Obviously, as this market is moving to the downside, this is what we had. We had the large consolidation. Uh, okay, there it is. Let's see. Did it break? Man, I don't want to jump into it right now, but that was the plan. Let's go. I'm gonna limp into this one. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go all the way into this one. I think that may have been a false break. Futures. How am I gonna treat this one? I'm gonna wait. Oh, it's already below 84. I mean 83. Come on, dude. Make up your mind. I don't like dollar cost averaging. I really don't like dollar cost averaging. But I'm gonna take this straight. I'm gonna take this straight now. If I'm wrong, I figure out early that I'm wrong. I find out at 8:30 that I'm wrong. There we go. Took the position. I'm in on oil. We'll wait and kind of see how that one kind of plays out. All right, DAX. So we had a pending order set up for this consolidation that was made from right here to right here. I thought it was going to go a little bit higher, but it didn't. There goes the consolidation position right there. We want to be able to trade the breakout of this. We want to trade the breakout of this node. I thought process that the market could fall down to 12,450. Currently, right now, when we end up taking that trade was taken at 12,700 with our stop loss above the overall swing high in the consolidation at 12,802 with the expectation that the market could fall down. Now, we're seeing a little bit of a U-turn for this overall movement. So if you're not in as of yet, there's no worries on no worries on it yet. I would say wait for the counter trend line break to be able to get in as a continuation trade, and then after that, kind of go from there. So essentially, what I would look at is something like this. The market has been showing that um, it has been breaking counter trend line breaks to the downside and giving opportunities to be able to get in. Um, you're trying to scalp this. Let's see. You're trying to scout this, then I'll place a stop loss above the swing high or above the VWAP, depending on how you end up playing it. And then after that, take it down to where the take profit position will be at 12,450. Now, for you, for the people that are saying, how did I get to 12,450? We've been talking about this position for a while now. We go based off of the hour. You can see that the last major consolidation that we end up having, the natural support was at 12,450. So I would rather get out at that position knowing that from a psychological level that more people will probably end up getting out there first before being able to take this longer distance trade to the downside. Once again, the market will probably, there's a big chance that the market could go into free fall after if it is after 12,160. If it breaks below 12,160 and for some reason if we end up getting some type of news, that is the trade that I have for the downside that I'm kind of holding on to. It's the same thing that I have for the thought process with US 30. Just want to see how it kind of reacts first for it being able to make that move. So DAX is in the middle of a trade right now, currently right now, up about um, up 80 points off of this move right now. Want to see how this market kind of reacts. The hours in the buy zone, so we got 7 to at least 11 hours of overall upside movement that could happen. if I see a counter trend line break, I might end up cutting some of that profit early, and then after that, look at being able to get back in a little bit later on. But that's where we are with DAX. If you're not in, don't jump in yet. Wait for the counter trend line break, and then after that, look at being able to make a play after that. Let's talk about NAS 100. NAS 100, same deal. Um, look at being able to go after the natural support of this large consolidation that we end up having right before the summertime started. Market has broke the inner trend line, gravitated toward the outer trend line, broke the outer trend line. Now it's actually moving down to the downside. Potential landing spot of being able to get out is 11,480. Natural support is at 11,360. We're going after the 360 number. We'll see how that actually kind of plays out. And once again, if this market does fall, this overall area, then we have a large position where this market could fall all the way down to 91.82. But I won't look at being able to make that trade unless the market ends up breaking below 11,300. So we're just trying to play this one out, trying to be a little bit patient with the move, obviously, as this market goes down. I have a pending sale stop right now that I've literally placed in at 11,690, 11,690 with the stop loss of 11,853. Being honest, I probably should place that just above the overall resistance high to be a little bit more safe. That messes up the risk reward factor a little bit if I do that. You want to keep it below. You want to keep it above 1 to 2 to 1 to 2.3. 11,850 would be the stop loss. But remember, if it breaks inside a consolidation quickly, then look at being able to exit and kind of go from there. If you're a person that likes being able to sell at resistance, if this market proves that it's not ready to break out of resistance, look at being able to make a sale above 11,873. And then obviously you have that same position to the downside if that's something that you may be interested in. So for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set an alert. I'm going to set an alert at 11,870 or 11,869. That will let me know that the market has hit resistance of this consolidation. Then after that, if it breaks below, then let's see, it just broke in. Then that'll let me know what's going to end up happening based off of this movement. I don't intend on buying. Obviously, we could be able to buy and kind of go based off of this last vortex area that we end up taking a trade off of right here. But once again, I don't see a situation where I'll be interested in being able to buy, at least not yet. I think that we'll get blocked from this previous consolidation that happened before. So push up to resistance, may try to peak out a little bit, and then after that may U-turn. If it goes back inside a consolidation, I'll look at being able to make that sale, and then after that, look at being able to ride it out from there. Okay. Last one, we'll talk about XPX 500. XPX 500, we end up taking profit on the trade, on our first trade that we end up looking at when the market ended up breaking below, our consolidation support and our breakout level from this one at 38.50. Currently, right now, it's on that last move at 30. I want to say 38. What was that? 38.90, I believe. And I'm starting to see that if the market is looking like how it is, it's starting to build out another consolidation before being able to truly break to the downside. So we get rid of these alerts. Don't need these alerts anymore. Kind of like with every other pair, I would like for the market to be able to build out a consolidation for today and kind of see how the market's going to end up playing out. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen at 9:30, but that is what I would like to be able to see. This market start to push up and try to get up to 38.84, 38.85, and then after that, kind of make its move from there. If the market retraces, then I'll place in an order ready for the market to be able to break the overall low. You're trying to do it based off of advanced strategy. Look at being able to sell the resistance, and then after that, look at being able to sell it down from there. Okay. That is my time for this morning. We got one trade in currently at this particular point in time, or two trades in at this particular point in time, which is DAX and US oil. We'll see how all of those kind of play out. Oil is probably going to end up being one of those ones where you might have to stay in it for a few days. But hopefully there's no crazy type of news that may end up pushing the market to the upside, and we end up going from there. you like what I end up doing, please click on that boost button. For the people that will be watching this a little bit later on, some of these plays might end up playing out in your favor, or while you're looking at it, may end up putting you into a better position to be able to make a move off of it. Obviously, because it's only 7 o'clock in the morning, there hasn't been no true big movement yet, but we are ready for it. Like always, plan your trade your plan. I see each and every one of y'all later on tonight at 2100 hours or at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to be able to recap some of these trades and see if there's any other potential opportunities left. Everybody, take it easy.